If you're walking through open houses and you're feeling overwhelmed, I'm going to give you 5 questions that you should ask yourself or your realtor with every open house that you walk into to make sure you're not missing thousands of dollars or it's going to be costing thousands of dollars. So watch this video until the end because the last one is very important. What's going on, guys? My name is Cody, realtor with eXp Realty. I specialize in helping sellers get the most amount of money and helping buyers find the next best deal. Be sure to like and follow and subscribe if you want more valuable content like this. Be sure to follow all my social medias if you want more valuable content. Without further ado, I'm going to give you the 5 questions that you should ask yourself or ask your realtors with each open house you're going to, because if you don't know these 5 questions, you're going to be running you $20,000, $30,000 out of pocket if you do decide to put an offer on that home. Number 1, why are they selling? Now, I worked with a ton of buyers in my previous times, and now that the new NAR settlement, I've mainly been focusing on a lot of sellers, but that doesn't mean I'm going to discourage buyers. But sometimes you want to know, why is the prospect selling? Why are they selling in the first place? Now, you don't necessarily need to ask this question because sometimes it can be personal reasons, but it is okay for your buyer's agent to go ask the seller's agent, why are they selling? Most of the time, people just want some money. They want the most amount of money, or they could be going through divorces. They could be going through legal trouble. It doesn't matter. They want to relocate. They want to upsize or downsize. It could be anything, but this is just a surface level question. Why is the seller selling? Oh, because I want to downsize, or because I want to upsize. This is not very important, but it is good to know, where is the seller headed to? Why are they doing it? Because everybody has a motivation when it comes to selling. You have a motivation when it comes to buying. You're either going to upsize or you're going to downsize. That is your main goal. You need to get into another property. Whatever your goal is probably similar to the seller's goal. They want to upsize, they want to downsize, they're going to the divorce, they want to split up. It is okay to ask, what is their motivation? Which leads to question number 2. How long has it been on the market? Now, you don't need to ask this at an open house. You can literally find this in your MLS, or you can look it up on Zillow. How long has it been on the market? Relatively fresh new listings are literally going to be harder to negotiate. I'm just going to go ahead and give that up for the buyers out there, because the sellers, they already know you're not going to take anything less within the first 30 days. Now, the first thing you want to do is, you want to look at the days on market. If it's been on the market for past 90 days, it means that 1, it could be overpriced. 2, something's going on with the property. The deal could have fell through, or something's going on during inspection time if it had an offer. Or 3, it could be a much worse situation. But let's think of it as an open house term. If you're going to an open house and you're already done your research, it's been on the market for so long. Why has it been on the market for so long? You're probably walking through the house like, oh, the HVAC looks weird. Oh, the roof needs to be replaced. Nobody wants to put $20,000 in a roof. And then on top of that, bad news for the seller, you're probably going to get a low ball offer. But this is another question. This is a very important question that you want to have in your arsenal. How long has it been on the market? You can literally do this, research this yourself, but you don't have to. You can always ask the seller's agent if you want to go to the open house, how long has it been on the market? They're going to usually tell you. They're going to have MLS sheets up there. You're going to usually see the days on market if you look at the MLS sheets. But this is a super normal question, so it is important, but it's not as important as number 3. Any price reductions or any offers? This is a very special kind of question, and this is a very controversial question that you can still ask the buyer's agent if you go to the open house, or if it maybe even not an open house. You just can call and ask anytime. But obviously, has there been any price reductions? You can find this on the MLS with your buyer's agent. But if you're not with an agent as of right now, you can see it on Zillow. You can see that there's a recent price reduction, there's a recent price cut. But are there any offers on the home for buyer's agents, for buyers in general? You want to ask if there's any offers. Do you have any competition? Is there anybody who is currently looking at this property who is already throwing an offer? Because if there's multiple offers, you started a bidding war. Now, what happens when you start fighting with other buyers? The price is going to drive up. And some buyers don't even want to be in a bidding war. But it's also good for the seller side to, obviously get above asking price. But this is another important question, especially whenever, I'm representing my clients, when I'm representing my buyers. Is there any offers on the table? Is there any competition? Is there anything that we need to be aware of? Obviously, we can talk about price reductions all day because I can see that all day. But, are there any offers? But sometimes sellers agents like to use that to their advantage to start up a bidding war. But number 4 is kind of going to shock you a little bit more because you're not asking this. A lot of people are not asking what number 4 would be. Any repairs or any updates. You'll be quite shocked how many people will actually ask this, because for one, if it's not an open house, you're going to an open house when there's clearly some modified stuff. Of course, you can ask these questions. How recent was, the painting on the wall? How recent was the new countertops? How recent is the roof? The roof may look new as well. But you can also ask these questions before you even go out to the house. It may look renovated during the pictures, but you can always ask, what are the repairs? What was done to the property prior before we go look at it? Because you'll be surprised how much money people will actually put into the property, and it may not even look repaired, but the roof can be new, the HVAC can be new. A lot of sellers actually dump money into their property before even listing it on the market. So don't be afraid to ask questions, people, because you'll be surprised of the good qualities that come out of just asking simple questions like this, because you're going to realize, or you're probably never going to know other than you get an inspection and you really think like, hey, that HVAC looks new, the roof looks new, the foundation is solid, and everything looks great. But you can get a lot more just by simply asking. But that doesn't top until number 5, which is the most important one. What is the neighbors like? What is the neighborhood like? It goes way deeper than just buying a property. You're buying a property in the area. Is the area safe? Is the area good? For example, I've dealt with clients who are asshole clients and with a very friendly community, and it just wasn't fitting for them. And overall, you want to ask, what are the neighbors like? Is it a quiet neighborhood? Is it a peaceful neighborhood? Are the neighbors okay? Is there anything suspicious around the neighborhood? You need to ask this specific question because you don't know how long you're going to stay in there. You could be staying there for 3 years. You could be staying there for 5 years. It could be 1 or 2 years. But overall, you want to make sure you're living in a safe community. The neighbors are cool. Make sure there's nobody suspicious around the area. Nobody's acting weird. You want to always make sure what the neighbors like. Because think about it, as a buyer's perspective, what are buyers mainly looking for? Safety, any repairs I've done, how long have they been on the market? All this combined into one offer to see if it's a great offer for that buyer prospect. So that is a very important one, which is why I saved it for the best for last. What other neighbors like? This is super important from every buyer. Everybody's always going to see what the neighborhoods are like, what the community is like, because that is the number one factor when it comes to a buyer's mind. And if you are a buyer and you need guidance, you need an agent to go out and ask these questions for you, regardless if you're at an open house or someone's representing you, be sure to contact me down in the description below. Let's get started. If you're your first time home buyer, if you're a seasoned buyer, it doesn't matter. I represent every client the same. They're all going to get the same treatment, and I can ask all these questions just for you. So like I said, if you want to contact me, be sure to contact me down in the description below. But without further ado, guys, I hope you enjoyed this short video. Like I said earlier, be sure to like and subscribe if you want more valuable content just like this. Be sure to follow all of my social medias in the description below if you want more valuable content. And without further ado, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Let's get it.